purchased the rights to Coretta Scott King's story. I wanted to look at Coretta Scott King through Martin Luther King's eyes. And because I felt like no human being knew him better than her. And she's the one who is also a truly remarkable hero. And I call her my queen. And she is the one who said to me, hey, Byron, as black people, we had 4 major challenges. Number 1, end slavery. Number 2, end Jim Crow, which I think was more damaging than slavery, because when we were slaves, we were assets. At one point, slavery was 60% of the GDP of America. I don't think any other industry has come even close to 60% of the GDP. Like, this was a gigantuan business. And so when we became free, we became a liability to them, and that's when they started to murder us and lynch us and incarcerate us, because we moved from being an asset to a liability in their minds. And she said number 3, achieve civil rights. And then she choked up. And number 4, the real reason they killed my Martin, achieve economic inclusion. She said, people think he got killed over I Have a Dream. They didn't kill my Martin. I always loved that. She said, my Martin over I Have a Dream. We had achieved that by the time they murdered him. They killed him over the speech, The Other America. That's why they killed him. That's the speech that got him killed. There are 2 Americas. One America has opportunity to education and capital and mentorships and jobs and opportunities. What does it matter if I can sit at the same lunch counter as my white counterpart and I cannot afford the same hamburger? There are 2 Americas, and 2 Americas will not survive. We must achieve one America. Now, he wrote that over half a century ago, and it's as if he wrote it yesterday. That's the speech. That's the speech that got him killed, and that's the vision that's never been achieved. The 4th and final chapter, economic inclusion for all Americans. And what really got him killed was he was speaking on behalf primarily of poor white Americans. Right. It was mainly poor white Americans, which you have more of than anything.
And that would have been a unifying issue.
And that was
but
a unifying.
Race is used to divide us, so even if we have economic shared interests, we never unite.
That's right. So they considered him a threat to national security. And I'm making a movie about that. And that's why he was murdered. And that's why they killed him, because he was pushing for the 4th and final chapter. And what I told our queen, Coretta Scott King, I said, you and Martin did more than enough, and we will deal with the 4th and final chapter, because there should be more of an equal inclusion for economic inclusion to really have America that's strong, where you have a real democracy. Our democracy is not really on a strong foundation unless we all have a great education and we all have access to capital and opportunities and jobs. You can't have a scenario where half the women in this country are living at or below the poverty line. Half. You have over 2.5 million homeless children. 2.5 million children in America homeless. I mean, we're a small population when you kind of think about it. We're only 327 million people out of a global population of 7 billion people. China has 200 million kids in college. 2/3 of our nation here in America is in college in China. They're developing intellectual capital. So for America to really be strong and to thrive, not just survive, but thrive, everybody has to be engaged and everybody has to be positioned for success. We have to maximize everyone's fullest potential.